When most people sing, they place their voice under high amounts of vocal load. Inappropriate amounts of breath pressure as well as extreme muscle activation both lead to vocal distress. Are you in vocal distress? I think I can help.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
Hello one and all, if you're new to Voice Essentials, welcome. My name is Dr. Dan and I'm a contemporary singing voice specialist. And it's my job to help you realise the full potential of your singing voice. Now, I'm an avid reader. As you might expect, I read copious amounts of text about singing and the human voice. But I also read other books as well, like this one by Timothy Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek. Now, despite the title of the book being a personal turn-off, I've found the content really enjoyable and easy to read, but this video is not a book review, no. I wanted to tell you about a few paragraphs I recently read that I think might help us all in our journey to a more balanced and healthy singing voice. Let me read you the direct quote and then I'll offer you some thoughts on how Ferriss's words might serve our own cause when it comes to singing. The section is titled, "Distress is bad, Eustress is good." Distress refers to harmful stimuli that make you weaker, less confident and less able. Destructive criticism, abusive bosses and smashing your face on a curb are examples of this. These are things to avoid. Eustress, on the other hand, is a word most of you have probably never heard of. Eu, a Greek prefix for healthy, is used in the same sense as in the word euphoria. Role models who push us to exceed our limits, physical training that removes our spare tires, and risks that expand our sphere of comfortable action are all examples of eustress. Stress that is healthful and the stimulus for growth.
Sound check.
Distress and eustress. Ferriss goes on to say that the trick is telling the two apart. So let's focus this to our own means, learning to sing. Now, as I suggested at the beginning of today's video, most people, when they first start learning to sing, commence their journey with a voice that is under tremendous amounts of distress. For some, the action of singing is physically uncomfortable because the larynx is under so much load. The muscles get all tight and constricted. So, what's causing all this tension? Well, for most folks, too much air pressure is the culprit. A lot of beginner singers find themselves naturally driving the voice too hard, forcing too much air through the larynx because they think more is better, right? Wrong. The first challenge for every new singer is to learn to get this air to muscle ratio just right. It's a bit of a chicken and egg scenario, but when you have the right amount of air pressure flowing through the larynx, you can develop the right amount of muscle activation, which in turn can enable a more balanced throughput of air. Now, at this point, one can easily make the mistake of thinking that the word relaxed might best describe the best setup for singing. But again, this would be a mistake because our aim is not to remove all physical activation. I generally avoid the word relaxed in my studio because I think it leads to lazy and de-energized singing. No, what we are in search of is vocal eustress. We all need to learn to activate our voices with just the right amount of air and muscle, what I like to refer to as an optimal setting. Now, I've got a great practical exercise that will help you to achieve vocal eustress, but before I go through it with you, please remember to hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying today's video.
Sound check.
In many respects, as developing singers, we are learning to walk a tightrope. When people first learn the art of tightrope walking, they start off by only walking a few inches off the ground across a wide beam to ensure safety and balance. As their confidence develops, they'll heighten the drop and narrow the beam until they reach a point where they can walk an inch-wide rope many feet off the ground. And that's exactly what this exercise is designed to do for us. So let's start finding our vocal balance with a single note sung through a drinking straw. And while holding your nose, hum a comfortable note in the middle of your range through a straw. The note, in this case F3, should be resonant with no sense of tension through the neck. Once you're able to sustain a single even note, move the note up one step, ascending the range of a fourth and back down again. so on. As you hum the notes, make sure that the note has a consistent tone that doesn't crumble at the end like this. You don't want it to collapse. Once you've mastered the drinking straw, try reducing the diameter of the straw down to the size of a cocktail straw. The thinner opening will increase the challenge of the activity. It's important to only move on to the next stage of this exercise once you've completely mastered the current step. Once you've got the single note working really well through the cocktail straw, it's time to return to the drinking straw for some major third slurs, some pitch glides. You should move the activity through the range of about an octave, ascending and descending. And once you've achieved clean, balanced notes with the drinking straw, increase the difficulty again by doing the major third slur with the cocktail straw.
Sound check.
Now don't go anywhere, we haven't finished yet. Now that we can manage our voice through a cocktail straw, slurring the major third, it's time to move on to singing a 5-note scale, again using the drinking straw. Have a listen. Now, for those of you who don't already own my singing exercise CD, Dr. Dan's Voice Essentials, you can download the first track for free from my website, which will provide you with the backing for the 5-note scale I just did. Again, once you've mastered the activity using the drinking straw, move on to the cocktail straw to heighten the challenge. The ultimate aim is to be able to sing across your full range using both straw sizes. Again, don't attempt this until you have mastered each of the preceding steps. The whole purpose of the activity is to achieve the perfect balance between air and muscle activation. If you're up for a real super challenge, try humming a siren from the bottom of your range right through the very top of your range and back again using the straws. And double check it with your nose held. You could hear my voice cut out there a little bit in the middle. The aim is to have it completely travel evenly from bottom to top and back again. This is an advanced activity, so don't be discouraged if you don't achieve a smooth sound with your first few goes. I'm going to be reading your comments and feedback below with great enthusiasm because I'm keen to know how these exercises help you to alleviate vocal distress, replacing it with vocal eustress. Remember, the key is to activate the voice with just the right amount of air and muscle, not too little and not too much. If this is the first time you've watched one of my videos, g'day, thanks for watching. If you love to sing, then I'd love for you to visit my channel where you'll find hundreds more videos just like this one. Each one has been designed to develop your voice and improve your sound. I hope you'll take a moment to subscribe and join our ever-growing community of singers from across the globe. So until I see you in the next Voice Essentials video, I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.